Good morning, or evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. I don't know where this goes, but it doesn't matter. Are you excited for Nintendo's next console? It's been years since the Switch released, and we're all dying for a new console. I mean, this thing is getting pretty old, and we're pretty much on a halt right now. I mean, the hardware is getting old compared to the other consoles, but look at how lightweight and cute this little thing is. I love playing games on this, and can't wait to play more.
Hey Rohan, have you seen my... Is that a Switch again? Is that really the only thing you can think of talking about? Like, you were prattling on about your silly little console yesterday, and now you want to bore the viewers out of their minds too? Allow me to take it from here. Guys, have you seen the new Nvidia RTX 4070 Ti Super? It's literally the best GPU for the money. This year, there are more cores, and the frame buffer has been increased to 16 GB.
Yeah, well, what's the difference between this and the 3070 Ti?
It's 1.6 times faster.
For how much?
Only $799.
Only $799? Are you out of your mind, you half-wit?
Well, it's a bargain considering the market in 2024. Just imagine playing the latest titles in glorious 4K 120 FPS.
I can buy a PS5 and have money left over for an Xbox. You, on the other hand, will have a useless GPU with no PC to put it in and will be left stranded on the side of the road because you made terrible financial decisions, wasting all of your money trying to pursue 2 more frames per second. Take your big mouth elsewhere and let me carry on with my video.
Alright then, we shall settle this like real men.
What are you talking about? Huh, what?
Heads up.
Ah! Oh, so you've decided to play video games, have you? What box do you want to play on? Welcome to the war zone. Ever since consoles were a thing, people have been fighting to the death on what console to play games on. Which one's better? Should I choose a prison cell or build one myself? Well, a brief explanation for you. PCs, short for personal computers, is basically an umbrella term covering the computers we use on a daily basis. Desktops and laptops, usually running the Windows operating system. They can do anything from running browsers, working on documents, watching movies, and yes, playing games. Consoles are kinda like specialized computers, which are exclusively meant to run games, with a little media playback and streaming here and there. Kinda like a smart TV. They are built to run games at their best and providing extra features to supplement the experience. When computers were new back in the 1980s, they weren't all that powerful because they weren't supposed to be. They weren't for playing games, they were meant for spreadsheets and stuff. Well, except for, can you believe it, Reversey. Well, look at this MS Paint looking ass Reversey. No, the goal of home consoles were to bring the arcade machines to your home. Specialized gaming machines designed only to run games and run them good, but you don't have to go out into a public space to do so. You get your own little arcade machine in your home. No need to pay quarters to use, it's just yours. And if you're lucky, your console can work with multiple different games. Yeah, that used to not be a thing, but now it is and became a source of huge profit. And PCs were huge pieces of equipment meant for big boys to use at their office for work.
Now, however, we've passed that. Consoles are built like computers, and the computers are built better than ever, with there being an incomprehensible amount of games on PC. People went, hey, so I have a computer already, and they're getting pretty powerful, so can I just run games on here? And while initially they were worse compared to consoles, PCs picked up the pace, and now they're just as good, if not better, than consoles.
I'm gonna shoot you in the leg.
Which one? From Microsoft Flight Simulator to Doom, computers have been able to run games from all the way back when IBM was still relevant. However, consoles were more popular and also captured the hearts of many kids who wanted a Nintendo for Christmas. Computers were for doing the work, and consoles were for playing the games that everyone else was playing. In addition, no console game was on PC. Nintendo had their own, Sony had their own, and PCs had their own. But at the turn of the century, as the internet started blowing up, more and more people got computers and connected online. This gave PCs access to online games before consoles. And as computers were way more consumer friendly and accessible than before, people started shoving as much power as they could inside this thing to make it run games the best. Companies like Steam came along to offer a marketplace for computer games to be sold, and now some games are even on both console and PC. And might I add, the PC version usually has additional benefits, and that is how PC rose to the top of gaming, leaving everything else behind. Well, what's the matter?
You know what? Enough introduction. I'm gonna prove you wrong right now.
Okay then, go for it.
Look at this piece of garbage. Yeah, I'd like to pay the price of only $700 for a bulky laptop to play everything that this $300 Xbox does. What? Not even gonna rebuttal me?
Nah, go on.
Okay. Okay, so let's say you forgo the laptop. I'm gonna decide to build my own box. Well, get ready to empty your wallet because a good CPU is like $300. Then you gotta spend $200 for the motherboard, then $100 for the storage, $100 on the RAM, and that's for a good one. Then there's the case, the cables, and oh, did I forget to mention the GPU? NVIDIA is basically the de facto GPU everyone trusts. And guess who's raising their prices to holy crap amounts for an RTX 4070? And that's assuming you can even get one of them because all of the crypto miners took them, and some people are even reselling the GPUs for higher prices. Considering a GPU is the whole damn game, that's a pretty crucial part of the setup, don't you think? Okay, so let's say you decide you want one of those new shiny handheld PCs that's so popular right now, like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or these. You're paying at a minimum $400 for that. And because these are PC games we're talking about, of course you want to upgrade the storage and maybe the RAM to get better performance and not to go through hell. You'd be spending $500 to $600. And you have to know all that. You have to know what specifications you want, otherwise you'll go, oh, let me get this computer. And unbeknownst to you, it has some spec that's not up to par like the GPU, and you're just screwed. All because you didn't know what GPU you wanted, or you assumed that a certain GPU would be fine or compatible with your system, or could run your games. Nah, you have to shell out extra money just for not learning the basics, whereas consoles have like 2 or 3 tiers, simple to understand. Buy one, and you're set. So if you don't want to pay twice the price and learn tons of information just for gaming, consoles are the way to go.
Can I go now?
Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so... Well, here's a gaming rig I put together using used parts. This old Dell Optiplex with a GPU from a couple of years ago costs close to the Xbox Series S and also performs like one. It can also do other things, such as be a PC. And here's another gaming rig I put together using more used parts that performs identical to the Xbox Series X. So immediately, the argument of PCs always being pricey has been disproven.
Ow, it's not even guaranteed to work flawlessly. Just think of the amount of troubleshooting you're gonna have to do on that thing.
Okay, ignoring that for a second, who's the one selling their soul to a company for the ability to play online, huh? Well, who's the one who applied the most sophisticated mathematics to calculate the value of what Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack should be? And who's the one who doesn't have to give a crap? Thought so.
Ow!
So, even if console users pay less upfront, guess who's paying the most over time? That's right, you are. Meanwhile, on PC, you can play online for free, forever. No one is ever going to charge you to do something so basic as play online. Oh, and not to mention, cheaper games due to sales. But we're not there yet in the episode.
Bro, if you split the bill with friends and share the subscription, then you don't have to pay that much.
Oh, and people like you like to couple a monitor with the cost of the computer, when, by that logic, you'll couple the cost of a TV with the console. It's a stupid comparison.
People already have TVs. A monitor is an extra expense exclusively associated with PCs. You don't buy a TV for a console, most people don't, but they do buy monitors for PCs.
Well, if your primary use for the PC is just for games, why not launch Steam into big picture mode and just use the TV that most people already have? Anyway, monitors don't cost as much, and even if you are on the budget end, I don't think the latest and greatest 500Hz panels would be that much of a priority. Not a great start, and it's not going to get better for you.
Oh yeah, well, let's get to the next category.
Okay, so how much do your games cost?
About 60.
You sure about that?
70.
Say that again for me.
$70.
And why, may I ask, has the price of games increased by $10?
Because the companies are spending more on video games?
And to no greater avail.
Not all $70 games are terrible. Some of them are good, like The Legend of Zelda, God of War Ragnarok, Starfield. Oh look, the game is $70 on PC as well. You too are paying those prices.
Well, if we're talking about obtaining games legally on PC, look no further than Steam. With regular sales, it is the best place to support the devs who work very hard on their games and who are definitely not overworked and underpaid and are losing their life to big corpos. I'm looking at you, EA and Blizzard. These sales happen frequently and discount the games a lot. Look at how low you can get Portal and Portal 2 for on these sales. And also, Steam and Epic Games, we don't talk about that, has the best regional pricing out of any platform. In countries like India, look how low the prices go. When a sale comes around, that means you're buying games for literally less than half the price. On console, the regional pricing is minimal, and at least here in India, Nintendo doesn't even do it. So, you're paying big money all the time. And on PC, there's always the option of sailing the high seas. If you have the ability to read and make sense of instructions, piracy, contrary to popular belief, will not riddle your computer with viruses, but is an extremely popular way of obtaining entertainment.
Please note that we do not condone piracy, and we believe that it is important to support game studios, at least the ones who actually put effort into making games.
Okay, so do the games run on your computer? Yeah, you have a laptop with an older GTX card in it, so it's quite slow nowadays, and your only option is to buy an external GPU, which, even if you had a laptop with Thunderbolt, costs just as much as a console, if not more. Good choice. Yeah, okay. A problem with gaming on PC is that to build or even buy a rig, you need to do tons of research to find out which parts work best for the games you're going to play on it. Do I get an Intel CPU or an AMD CPU? What motherboard do I buy? What about the RAM? Which SSD brand should I choose? I still don't know anything about power supplies myself. And if it doesn't work, great job, you're screwed. Go back to Micro Center and buy more stuff. Oh, and if you're getting a laptop or pre-built, what brand? Should I go to Dell or Lenovo or Walmart? Whereas on console, it's just a simple decision of what console to buy. Oh, this game's on Xbox? I'll go buy an Xbox. Or, well, my friends are on PlayStation. I heard it's great. I'll do some quick research. Okay, I guess I'll get that.
Hey, if you use up the console's built-in storage, that's it. You're done. No more games.
No, not really. They're expandable now. You can put an SSD into the PS5 and the Xbox now has expansion cards.
Which costs almost as much as a Series S.
Okay, well, that's their problem. And if the game's on the disc, then you don't even need to bother. Like Nintendo, get physical games and no need to worry about storage space. And if your PC specs don't match with the recommended requirements for the game, you gotta go to low settings or get new parts. Whereas on console, the regulations on getting a game approved involves the developer of the game testing the game for your hardware specifically and optimizing for it. The performance you get is the same as everyone else's, so the game has to run good on your console. You're more guaranteed a good performance, and the same performance as everyone else, because you all run the same box. PCs are all different and you have to accommodate for them, especially if it's a bad PC port. Plus, you don't have to go through upgrading the hardware for a specific game. Games are adapted to the consoles everyone already has, so you can play using the box you already have.
Well, you still have to buy the next Nintendo Switch, so...
Yeah, true.
Plus, those games really have to crunch to work on consoles, especially the ones later in their lifespan. Sometimes PC is the only place where you can play the game at full settings like they intended. You still gotta spend like an average of $400 every 7 years, whereas PC is only upgrade when you need to, and certainly not for that amount. You can switch up the case and keep the parts the same, and look, it looks brand new, and I only spent a fraction of the cost. Also, some competitive games like Euro Truck Simulator, League of Legends, Team Fortress 2 and CSGO are only on PC. You can't even play these games with a controller competently, and on console that's your only option. So if you're playing competitive games and esports, PC is the way to go. In addition, do you like old games, retro games, vintage games even? I'm assuming you do, considering 2 episodes ago you asked Nintendo to pretty please add more emulators to my expensive subscription service. Well, stop sucking up to the big corporations and just emulate everything on PC. Nintendo's not going to give you shit, bro.
Yeah. And how should I obtain the games to do so? Oh, no, we're not doing that.
Of course, if you just want to get them legally and be squeaky clean, you can buy it second hand and you're all good. On PC, you can emulate basically any console. Any competent computer today can go from the NES all the way to the frickin' PS3 and Xbox 360 and the Nintendo Switch. Just a testament to how underpowered that thing is. Want to play Mario All-Stars? You can emulate GameCube and Wii games using Dolphin and apply as many enhancements as you want to, like textures, widescreen on Nintendo 64, and any mods to make the game better. And use any controller. Whereas on console, you are only emulating what they allow you to, and are stuck with their own lackluster enhancements.
Easy for you to say. Retro games cost a big price, and with a subscription, you can legally play all of them.
But you don't own them. Virtual console doesn't exist anymore, so good luck. They can be pulled at any time from the store. Have fun continuously paying Nintendo for a service that they can take down at any time and that you can't do anything about because you don't own your games.
Bro, I just want to play the games. Who's gonna go through all that hassle of trying to obtain the game when there's a legal way to play them already?
Okay, fine, be that way. Let me talk about mods more. On PC, there are so many modifications for games so that they gain a little extra life after everyone stops talking about the main game. Things like texture enhancements, new levels, and gameplay mechanics. You go to Nintendo as if they're your daddy and take a look at Super Mario 64 Plus. It improves the controls, adds quality of life improvements, and makes it less dated, and more up to date with the times in terms of its game mechanics. You said Mario 64 was dated, right? Well, now it isn't, is it?
They exist on other consoles too. Look at all these Mario Odyssey ones.
Have fun homebrewing your Switch. Many Switch exploits have been patched, so you can't do it as easily as, say, the 3DS. You need to have lots of things on hand for the setup. That, or your Switch model doesn't support the vulnerability, so you can't even homebrew it. Meanwhile, on PC, it's just a matter of downloading the mod and shoving it into the game. You yourself have lived off of Minecraft Java mods for a good while, right?
Yeah, I did.
Exactly.
Okay, so first of all, especially concerning Sonic games, have fun dealing with DRM like dhunHERO. You like to speak all about the you can do on PC, but it's hard to do on console. DRM isn't there, and thus you don't have to deal with dhunHERO's horse shit like slowing down your game. Also, look at this shelf. Look at this sick collection of my Wii games. These are called physical media. You guys don't have disk drives anymore on computers because they were deemed unimportant, so no more physical PC games. Have fun with the games being pulled off of Steam whenever someone forces them to remove it. No, I'm talking legitimately. Like Epic Games. Rocket League was shanked from Steam and turned into a free-to-play. Have fun with 2 to a million game launchers on your system because everyone thinks they can be the next Steam. If your games are on discs or cartridges and the digital copy is gone, you can still keep them. You still own them. Look how cool this shelf looks. You buy the games, you keep the games, you own the games, and you don't spend 5 hours installing over shitty internet or wearing out and taking space on the storage. Just pop the disc in and go. It's also way easier to buy games for cheap because discs show up in used game stores all the time. You yourself bought a game from CEX. Can't do that on PC because they're all digital. No more CDs.
Hey, Sumnira.
What the hell are you saying? Ha! You missed!
The discs are going away anyways. Microsoft laid off tons of staff in charge of the discs, and the discs are just download portals anyways. There are more and more consoles without a disc option too, like the Xbox and the PlayStation. They are literally pushing for digital purchases.
The companies can get rid of them completely. It's a fundamental part of console gaming, especially Nintendo. Their games are so small that they always fit on the cartridge. When Xbox pulled that always online crap, they got bullied so much that they stopped it, and now physical games work like physical games again. Also, tough luck if you were living off of someone else's Steam library through the family features because it's now region locked, meaning if you're in different countries, it will no longer work. Oh, and exclusives.
Oh, you mean games intentionally restricted to a certain console that would otherwise run just fine on other consoles or better on PCs? Games that force you to buy a whole new console just to experience and sometimes bog down the experience? Just ask the Pokemon devs. Being Nintendo Switch exclusive is sure as hell doing great for them.
Incorrect. Some of these games, Halo, Super Mario, Zelda, Gran Turismo, Spider-Man, Forza, none of these would have existed or been as good as they are if they were on all platforms. Remember, the incentive to make these games good were to showcase the console off. These games were so good that they get people to buy their consoles. Otherwise, why make the game at all? Out of the goodness of their heart? Please. These games, sometimes considered the greatest games of all time, were made primarily to incentivize people to buy an Xbox, or a Nintendo, or a PlayStation. Any good PC game goes to console anyways, so good luck with that. Overall, sure, exclusives force you to buy a console in order to experience an otherwise amazing game, and nowadays aren't all that common, but the games wouldn't be amazing if they weren't exclusives. These games that changed the world would have no incentive to be made by these companies if it wasn't for the console wars back then. Sure, now you don't see it a lot with PS5 exclusives you can count on a hand or two, and Xbox titles on PC with plenty of titles like Minecraft on all the platforms, but Nintendo is still at it, and their amazing games, most of the time, wouldn't be made or wouldn't be the same if it wasn't to sell their consoles. Yes, it's ultimately for profit, but that's business, and you're getting good shit out of it, so stop complaining.
Shut up! Huh? Where do you go?
I hope you like watching Linus Tech Tips because you'll need them to get started. You're gonna have to spend a good while learning what to get, then getting the parts, then a good few hours assembling the thing. And if you get it right the first time, which is highly unlikely, and all goes well, you still need to install and activate Windows, which costs money, to get that stupid watermark to go away.
No, not again.
Then you download Steam, assuming you can get through Microsoft's offers and pop-ups during the setup, and then download your games, and hope it runs on your gaming rig, with no promise that it's going to be optimized and not look like Cyberpunk at launch. Oh, and something goes wrong? Gotta spend a good hour diagnosing it yourself or taking it to a repair center. Can't really do anything while it's there. Constant maintenance by checking drivers and Windows updates and such. Yeah, sure, consoles have updates now, but on PC there's a lot of components to keep track of. Oh, and let's say you don't want Windows and use Linux. It's free. And there's a cost to being free. Look how user-unfriendly this is. And while yes, Windows games can be made to run on Linux through a compatibility layer, like Proton, not all of them work or work well. And if you're buying a Steam Deck, this is what you gotta deal with. That, or go through the trouble of installing Windows and deal with using Windows on a handheld device, and this goes for all PC handhelds. And speaking of Microsoft, you know everyone is using Windows because it's where all the games are? Have fun having artificial intelligence, Office, Game Pass, and all that shoved down your throat, with a Windows update possibly breaking something like Windows 11 did to AMD at launch. Oh, and yeah, if a Windows update comes out, you gotta avoid it like the plague. Have fun with that. On console, you buy the console, you plug in the console, you start the console, you go through a quick setup for the console, and you play your games for the console. That's it. You're done. Now all you gotta worry about is playing your games.
Well, let's see here. The Xbox also has Microsoft offers during the setup, nagging you to get Game Pass. All consoles and operating systems alike have a setup where you sign in, update the console, connect to Wi-Fi and all that. You can always buy a pre-built computer or a laptop if you don't want to build the system yourself, which is lazy and shit and not worth it. But whatever, you have the option and they'll work well enough. And oh yeah, if you don't have physical games, you're gonna go where? The digital store, where, like Steam, you gotta wait for the games to install. And oh yeah, most AAA games now have discs that are just download portals, so like it or not, you're gonna still have to spend time downloading. And also, PC users didn't put up with nearly as much crap from Microsoft as Xbox users did from 2013, when the Xbox One had always online DRM and Kinect forced into the box. So you're the one to talk. And you do know that Linux has been making strides in the user friendliness by improving their interface so that anyone moderately proficient in computers can use it. Huh? Did you know that? Probably not, because you're a stupid incompetent fool who uses a console. And Linux runs Windows games very well. A lot of games work, even resource intensive ones. And if they don't, they soon will. Even Windows might work on a handheld PC because of this concept from a hackathon within Microsoft. And well, if you don't want to deal with it, there's always Steam Big Picture.
Who's gonna keep track of all that?
Actual gamers, you whiny piece of
No!
You're just ignorant.
Also, since you brought up repair centers, if you know enough about your computer, which you should if you built it, it should be trivial to swap out a part that's not working, whereas consoles have repair centers as your only option. Also, aren't you suffering from the orange screen of death on your Nintendo Switch whenever you try to download anything? Meaning, you can't download a game without a ton of inconvenience. Nintendo doesn't even exist here in India, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Whereas PCs have support everywhere since they're so common. Plus, if you buy a handheld console like the Switch Lite and it gets stick drift, you have to send in the whole console for repair. There's no Joy-Cons to swap out, so good luck with that.
Hey, that can happen with the Steam Deck too.
No, you can just unscrew it and fix it yourself if you want to, using guides and parts from the internet.
Still not winning. I wonder what the next category is. I can't wait.
No competition, PC is better.
What? You're not gonna say anything?
No, go on.
Okay.
You can basically build your PC with components that are leagues ahead of any console and can handle the toughest of games. Anything you throw at it, it'll work. And because it's a PC, you can use those powerful components for anything a computer can do. Plus, you get the latest tech faster than a console, such as that sweet ray tracing and upscaling, which consoles get later. Nintendo is the worst offender of this. Not only are they a generation or two behind in terms of console specifications, so much so that any modern computer can emulate said console with ease. This also prevents demanding games from coming onto the console, especially later in the console's life, or make it extremely limited on the console. So guess what? You're just gonna have to get two consoles or just get a PC. Plus, consoles have refreshes every 3.5 years and a new generation every 7 years, whereas Nvidia releases a new GPU every 1 year. Consoles are slow at adapting.
Bro, you guys pay shit tons of money to Nvidia for a graphics card every year that doesn't even have that much of an improvement upon the previous generation. Calm the hell down.
You don't have to upgrade if you don't want to. Did you know that?
Okay, time to kill you.
What?
Take a look at these two pictures. It's of the same game but on different platforms. One is on a powerful Windows computer and the other is on an Xbox One. What differences do you notice? That's right, none. You may be getting like 400 frames per second, but that's wasted effort. You're getting nothing more by getting a more powerful PC than the already powerful consoles. Consoles so powerful that new games still come out on those consoles even after they got succeeded by the next generation. Look at how many games came out on the PS4 after the PS5 launched. Look at it go! Are you really losing out on a lot over a few pixels of detail like a shadow? Sure, make it good, make it beautiful, but there's a point where we stop noticing or caring. Why pay extra for that? Is little Timmy gonna go to his parents and walk away scot-free asking for a PC like this? It's not like consoles are weak sauce, they have the power they need to play games and play them good. Like hell, the PlayStation 3 was so powerful it was considered a supercomputer. People use it to fold proteins and shit, and it was only supposed to play games, but that's beside the point. Oh, and by the way, if you have a gaming laptop, you can only go hard when plugged in into an outlet. The moment you disconnect the charger, well, have fun with that.
Hey, the Steam Deck doesn't do that. And Apple Silicon MacBooks can even game now, with long battery life and no drop in performance.
Okay, fair, you're right about the Steam Deck, so if you want to play games on battery power, then you can buy that. I have no bad things to say about that, you have a good point there. As for the latter, I used to own a Mac, so I can fairly say that you can't say for sure what's the battery life on MacBooks because there are no games to test it on. Okay, of course there are games, but good luck playing games that people actually give a shit about.
Hey, I like No Man's Sky.
Admittedly, the PC is quite a powerful thing, but as a legend once said, the eyes only see up to 60 frames per second.
Hey, that's a myth.
You get my point regardless.
There's a certain point where you're seeing diminishing returns from raw power, and for a lot of people, it's not worth paying attention to. What benefits are you really getting? It's the same game, but one costs less. I wonder what the clear choice is.
Okay, so who won this category?
Good question. One side is clearly more powerful, and the other side clearly doesn't care about the power. Could you call this a draw? Since I'm so generous, I'll let it be a draw.
Okay, lightning round, let's go. PCs can look however you want it to be because you buy the parts and make it centered around you. Whereas with consoles, you are stuck with what the company wants it to look like a Wi-Fi router.
Most consoles are small boxes that fit perfectly anywhere, whereas PCs are large and cumbersome.
Let me introduce you to the ITX small form factor size.
Not without a sacrifice, you're not.
You can 3D print one of these and get a whole ass PC for the price of the Series S and get better performance.
Get ready to spend on all the extra accessories that come in the console for free and troubleshoot the tiny ass PC you just built.
And PCs have sweet RGB for it to glow in the dark with the rainbow colors.
Oh my god, RGB is overrated, distracting, and simply annoying lights that just show people you live in your stepdad's basement. Having the console clean and sleek is better.
No, RGB is amazing and should be on everything from keyboards to mice to walls to toilets. Like imagine a whole person made out of RGB. Wouldn't that be cool? You still there? Hello? I mean, we could end this debate right now if you admit that you lost.
I know PCs are heavy bricks that no one wants to carry anywhere compared to a Switch.
Oh, you can carry just a phone with a controller hookup and stream from your PC.
Can't do that on vacation. Also, you can't game on the couch as easy as you can with the console, and couch gaming is a way better experience.
Bro, just stream the game or connect the computer to the TV.
You need to do a lot of fiddling to do so, and good luck navigating all of Windows with just a controller.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so what's the next category? Oh no.
Oh boy, let's talk about the PC Master Race. You know, the group of people believing that PCs are superior in every way and that consoles should burn in hell? Yeah, those people. They call themselves the Master Race and everyone else console peasants.
Because they are.
Piece of shit. Any mention of a console makes them shrivel up and pissed enough to rant online about how all console gamers are ignorant pieces of shit that haven't seen the light. Like, geez, bro, do you think this is a religion? That you're out on a mission to take down the evil corporations restraining us from freedom? The same corporations that, yes, while they do bad things, they built up the gaming industry so much, and you're calling them bad? The villains that should be taken down at all costs? And you take it upon yourself to guide the console peasants to glory by guiding them towards PC?
No, you're just an idiot.
Like, freaking bro, dude, you act like consoles are this evil tyrant that must be taken down in the name of openness and shit. Like, bro, what? It's just a video game system. Calm down. No one except nerds like you give a shit, and you're like 5% of the total gaming population, so just shut up and let people enjoy things. Like, jeez, dude, the PCMR website is so full of superiority complex, you can feel it.
You're stupid.
Now look at consoles. These people have united in love of their favorite platform, their favorite franchises, exclusives even. They made memories from these consoles, and if they had the Wii, it was fun for the whole family. Compare that to the elitist snobs from the PC community, and yeah, the comparison is clear.
Bro, you people fight over which console is better each generation and suck up to brands all the time, whereas the PC community is a bunch of enthusiasts making the best of our computers and games.
Then why are you gatekeeping fun?
What if I told you that this is just a joke and you're taking it too personally, huh?
Why are you trying to get us to switch to PCs then? We made a choice, let us stick to it and screw off.
Okay, allow me to bring you out of your little hole and show you the real world.
Consoles have no reason to exist now. Let me explain. For years, I agreed with you. Consoles have been either the only option or the best value for enjoying your latest games. But in a modern society, consoles just have no good reason to exist anymore. So you may think that computers are more expensive, but...
Hey, what the hell was that for?
Only I can use the paper.
Bruh, just hear me out.
Fine.
You may think that computers are more expensive, but remember, you can't use a console for your school or office work. A PC does everything that you want it to do. In fact, all video games are made on computers. People make video games for the consoles and game engines like Unity on a computer. Anyway, you may think that it costs $1,000 and that's really expensive, but you don't need to use it exclusively for gaming. That's like buying a car and only using it for the cup holders. Plus, if a console is just a box and a controller, what's the big issue with just buying a Bluetooth controller and connecting it to your PC? A lot of people have computers already. Make use of that if you can. No need to pay hundreds to thousands of dollars for a new computer just because you want to play games. Or just buy a cheap old used PC, shout out Dell Optiplex, to play games that work fine with old specs. And PCs, especially in the handheld form, look at the Steam Deck for example, are getting cheaper to the point where they're almost the same price as a big console. I agree, the Switch is considerably cheaper than the base model of a Steam Deck. But can it run Cyberpunk? Exactly. PCs used to only be similar to traditional consoles, boxes connected to the wall, only taking on Xbox and PlayStation. But now, PCs can take the form of a handheld, Nintendo Switch-like device. Let's see how long Nintendo lasts. PCs are quite versatile now, and Gabe Newell is showing us the way. Nintendo sells gimmicks anyways. What's stopping handheld PC manufacturers from allowing us to detach the controllers? No one! The Legion Go did it! Boom! Done! Replace the Switch. It may be a bit heavier, but sure. Sure, you need games to use those features like an accelerometer, but developers always find a way to make it work. There will be games to use these features if the device is popular, which it is always certain to be. Anything that consoles can do, PCs can do just as well. There's nothing stopping them from doing so. It's just Bluetooth after all. Everyone has it. So, you might bring up the topic of exclusive games. That's not much of a problem on PC because most Xbox games are already on here. And there's not a lot of PlayStation games remaining. A lot of titles that people give a shit about are coming to PC anyways, with better graphics and even the ability to mod the game, like Spider-Man. So it's even better than its console counterpart. And as for Nintendo, if you're so caught up with being ethical and legal and so on, just get yourself a Switch Lite for $150 and a couple of games, or get an unpatched OG Switch, or just... It's Nintendo, they deserve it! Nintendo consoles are always disgustingly underpowered to the point where in only 5 years it can barely play any new games. Why even bother with their bullshit? Why even bother putting up with them? Xbox seems to be shifting their focus on PC games anyways. Why bother with an Xbox console? Everything, all the features of an Xbox and more are already on Windows. The Xbox is and has always been Windows with the skin on top of it. It's always been a limited PC since the very first console, specializing in playing games and only games. Now, if you get the Xbox dashboard on Windows, it's over, it's done. In fact, Steam Big Picture is already there and you can just connect your computer to the TV through an HDMI cable. Like I said before, and done! You have a console that you so desperately wanted. If you can't connect it, then just stream it from another room. It'll work well enough if that's your only option. Why would Xbox sell consoles? At a loss, mind you, when they can just sell the games and earn more profit. Win-win. Also, with consoles, you are quite literally a slave to the corporation. They decide what you can or can't do, and you have to stick with it. Oops, I guess Xbox decided you need a Kinect and you can't play your games without internet access. That's so sad. They only ended up fixing the blunder after public backlash. Oops, Nintendo's gonna take away this game after a few months and you can't do anything about it because people still buy their products. Nintendo has not added themes to the Switch after 7 years and they have a controller defect on the Switch that you just have to deal with. In addition, console people really wait 7 years just to be disappointed. Like seriously, after years with the PS4, you get the PS5 and most titles are on PS4 anyways. PS5 exclusives are practically non-existent and come to PCs anyways. Finally, remember you and I are in India and here the PC has already won. Just look at the TV commercials. Gaming laptops everywhere. Go into a store like Chroma and you only see ads for a PlayStation 5 and nothing else. No Xbox, no Nintendo. Xbox exists in the form of a Game Pass on a PC and now everyone buys more and more gaming PCs and less consoles. Wanna buy a Nintendo console? Go abroad or buy it at a huge cost. Xbox is also going to do cloud gaming here so that people with phones can play. Phones! Why would anybody buy dedicated gaming hardware? Also, doing is way easier here. Just saying. Not encouraging it, but that's just the way it is.
Okay, I am done.
You know, can I say something?
What?
After this whole debate, I think I realized something.
That you lost?
What? No, I mean...
Bonus point, this is a dumbass debate. Unfortunately for you, consoles are still a huge part of gaming culture. You can't take down consoles, and some people still want them.
There will still be moments of a kid on Christmas morning running to their tree and seeing a console underneath their Christmas tree, as happy as can be, and... I was using that...
You deserve that.
And console manufacturers will always keep making new consoles due to the amount of money they bring in. They still sell. Look at the amount of stock issues all three consoles had, especially during 2020 when people had to stay home and were bored to shit. Plus, Nintendo's tight control over their hardware and their innovation will ensure that they will continue to exist for years on end. There's always a reason to buy their consoles, and making their own consoles ensures that Nintendo can make the most out of their hardware. Most games worth a damn release on all platforms anyways, so no matter what platform you choose, you will still have a good experience. With the addition of crossplay, everyone can play with everyone. So there's little reason to force others to play on a certain platform. The console wars are mostly over, and I think that this PC versus console debate should be put to rest.
Okay, admittedly, PCs aren't directly competing with consoles. They aren't supposed to. They're separate platforms with separate purposes that happen to have some overlap in their functionality. The Steam Deck is an open PC and the Switch is a closed but efficient gaming system. One is for core gamers and the other is for kids and families who are looking for casual gaming. They have no reason to care, actually. Also, a lot of gamers have a PC and a Nintendo Switch combo and it works well for them. So I guess there's no reason to yell at them.
And yeah, the subscriptions do suck, but there are ways to make them sting less, and it's a revenue source for the console manufacturers, so... I mean, I get it, but yeah, there should be better ways of doing this.
Yeah, I think we should just let people have fun with what they want. Console manufacturers aren't as evil as some PC people make them out to be. Still bad, but just not as bad. This debate seems to be just PC gamers trying to get everything on one platform because PC, powerful. And console gamers just not caring and going the easy route. And both are fine. We shouldn't kill others for what they choose to play on.
Aw, character development, how cute.
Shut the hell up, little boy. I'm gonna beat you to death.
So, in conclusion...
If you're broke, under 10, and or technologically challenged, get a console.
God damn it.
See, the answer is it depends on your needs, but that's quite a vague answer. It doesn't help anyone. So let's be more specific. If you don't care about a lot of setup, go console. Just buy the console, games, and go. If you only care about gaming, go with console. It's at a lower price. Plus, if you ever get a cheap PC for whatever your needs are, you'll have your gaming machine and work machine separated. It's a nice organization aspect. If you want to play demanding games, look at the games you want to play at what quality and decide based on if you want to go with the latest generation of consoles or a powerful PC. If you want to tinker and learn more about computers, get a PC. If you want to make a full gaming station around you, get a PC, although even consoles can be invited into this station. But if you want the freaking RGB, then you're gonna want the freaking PC. If your friends have a PC or console and you want to join them, just get whatever they're having, I guess. If you don't have a problem with it, of course.
Okay, since we are both sorry for our actions, can we do a truce? Ow!
No truce, only war.
But I thought this debate was over.
Nah, bro, we will continue fighting over this for years to come.
Oh no.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more. Just one more.